Hiya, I'm off to go and stock up on some keto ingredients. If you want to come along. Hello, welcome back. So I'm back from my shopping trip. Yeah, I thought it might just be interesting for some people who are perhaps new to keto to get an idea of the sorts of things I buy specifically for keto. So today's shop wasn't a full shop, it was just a top-up shop to buy the bits of specialist keto stuff, because I'm on keto but the rest of my family isn't. So key things to say: one, I'm in the UK here, so this video will probably be most useful for people in the UK, but I'm sure lots of these products are available elsewhere. And, you know, the ideas of what I'm going to use with the ingredients might be, you know, useful for everybody. What else? Yeah, I think it's just important to say at this point before we start that I'm one of those dirty, lazy keto sort of people. I've been on keto for about 4 years. And so keto works for me because I keep my carbs below 20. The only thing I count is carbs. Keep that below 20 a day. As a result, my insulin levels come down, get me into fat burning. It means that my hyperglycemia goes away, thank God. It also means that I'm not constantly hungry. Appetite goes away. I'm able to do intermittent fasting, and when I do eat, I'm able to eat a smaller portion. That's the way it works, in my opinion. All this is my opinion. What do I know? So that's that. But so some of these things, people might go, oh, I can't eat that, and that's fine. If you're clean, that's fine. But this is just to give you people a general idea of things that I get. So where did we get to today? Let's have a look in my big bag. Okay, so yeah, I started with a trip to Boots, the chemist, and yeah, they've got, for a long time, they've done diabetic chocolate and sweets. They have recently moved some of their products away from maltitol, which, you know, maltitol really isn't ideal for keto. And so they've moved over to lactitol, which again, I don't know, this isn't stuff that I would eat all the time. This is a special treat. But yeah, sometimes you want a little treat, and so I've got chocolate. So Swiss milk chocolate with hazelnuts. And looking at the back, per 6 squares. Yeah, and you probably are going to eat 6 squares, to be fair. You don't want to eat too much of this because it's going to give you, it's not going to, you're going to end up with some gastric discomfort if you were to eat too much. But 6 squares, it's got 10 grams of carbohydrate, but only 1.9 of that is from sugars. The other 7.2 is polyols. I say it's lactitol. Lactitol and aspartame. So I'm fine with that personally. I don't eat this every day. This is something that will just sit in the cupboard for when I want a real treat, or perhaps when someone really upsets me. It's very nice. Okay, so that's what I picked up in Boots. Where did we go next? Let's have a look at my big bag. Okay, so we headed over to Morrisons. I also, this next one I also pick up sometimes from Asda. We've got KP salt and vinegar peanuts. Okay, and again, this is one of those ones which some of you might go, Oh, no, I can't have that. Why? One, because people might say, peanuts, oh, they're not keto. Well, they're if you're going on carbohydrate, they're fine. I guess the negative things with peanuts potentially are, unless they're higher oleic peanuts, which most of them aren't, it's not the best fat. But yeah, if you're dirty keto, that's fine. The other thing is, it does have some sugar and maltodextrin in. Sugar? No. But looking at a 30-gram serving, that's 2.2 grams of carbohydrate, of which sugar's 1.7. So, you know, that's typically, you know, a handful of nuts is what I would have if I was going to have nuts. And so that's fine for me. And the thing I really like is the salt and vinegar, because I'm of Irish descent. I'm probably about 30% potato genetically. And so the chips with salt and vinegar crisps, these are things that call to me. And so for the longest time, I was desperately looking for something to give me that salt and vinegar flavour when the calling came upon me. And these do that. They've got that, you know, salt and vinegar crisp seasoning on them. Very nice. I believe they've sometimes have them, I've not seen them yet, but I've heard that Aldi have their own peanut and cashew salt and vinegar nuts. At times it's one of those specials they have in sometimes, so that's worth looking for. So I got these, not super cheap. It was on one of those buy two for £4. But yeah, so again, I don't eat tons of them, but that's something that, you know, when I fancy that salt and vinegar taste, that's something I would reach for. The other thing I would reach for, obviously, is pickles. Pickled gherkins are great for that sort, but that's I do like those. Okay, where did we go next? Oh, I've got a load of swag from here. So next we headed over to Waitrose, and yeah. Okay, so what did we pick up in Waitrose? First, I picked up some mayonnaise. And mayonnaise is one of those things that, well, you can make your own if you've got the time. But if you look at the ingredients list on almost all mayonnaise, it's got sugar in, and there's no real reason for it. I guess they use it as a preservative. However, this one, basically the ingredients are sunflower oil, Dijon mustard, egg yolk, white wine vinegar, salt, lemon, egg white. That's it. Nothing bad in there at all. And so I get this for making egg mayonnaise. Now, as I said the other week when I did a video about breakfast, eggs is that when I break my fast, eggs is one of the things I often reach for. But you're not always in a position to be in the kitchen to have when you break your fast. And so egg mayonnaise is great because you've got the eggs and some extra fat. So I don't know if you can get it anywhere else, but I always go to Waitrose for that. What else did we pick up in Waitrose then? Okay, so I picked up some malted biscuit brew. And they also do a toast and jam one. Basically, this is just black tea. According to the ingredients, it's black tea. And natural flavourings, 3%. It tastes like tea with a malted biscuit dunked in it. So that's very pleasant. So a cup of tea, and I just put a tiny splash of double cream in, a little bit of sweetener, They're very, very pleasant. The other thing you could do with these, of course, is if you were to mix up some heat up some double cream and infuse the it with some of that, a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of gelatin, and then put it into some little dishes. It'll make a really nice, what would you call it? I don't know what you call it, but it's like a creamy dessert with a subtle taste. That's quite nice. So you might like to give that a go if you've not already. The other thing I picked up from Waitrose was some beef dripping. It's very cheap beef dripping these days. As a kid, we all used to have fried bread, but these days it's like the whole world goes, lard, no. But of course on keto it's fine, and if you are going to buy lard, I would go for good quality beef dripping. It smells better, it tastes better, it's just nice. And so what, and I'm guessing the only reason you can still get lard in the supermarkets is that people use it for making pastry. But that's great for us. So what do I use this for? Well, I shall be using this later for my tea. Because today I'm going to do some deep fat frying. We'll wait till the next shot because you'll see what I'm going to deep fat fry then. But yeah, great for deep fat frying. Right, so where did I go next? Okay, so next I headed over to B&M. And they are good because they carry quite a wide stock of the Skinny brand products, which are great if you're on keto. Well, you do have to be careful with the Skinny brand stuff because not all of it is keto. Always look at the back, at the label. But yeah, so what did I pick up? Well, I picked up some tomato ketchup and some smoky barbecue sauce. Great sauces, so that both are great to go with eggs, for instance. You know, with an omelette or scrambled eggs. And also sometimes I might cook with these, though not typically. I might put a bit of ketchup into if I was making a stir fry, for instance, a sweet and sour sauce maybe, where I might put a bit of this in, or just a squirt. Though mostly for a sweet and sour sauce, it's cider or white wine vinegar and some sweetener is the primary base of it. You know, with some stir fry, maybe a few bean sprouts, some shredded cabbage, and some chicken or beef. Very nice. So yeah, looking at these, ketchup per 10ml serving, 0.6 grams of carbohydrate, of which sugar's 0. Basically, there's nothing in this. It's got 10% tomato paste, and it's got some thickeners, salt, acetic acid, flavouring, and it's sweetened with sucralose. Handy thing to have in the cupboard. And the barbecue is pretty similar. Spirit vinegar, wine vinegar, salt, smoke flavour, tomato paste, thickeners, and sweetened with sucralose. So I like those. They're just easy, something easy just to add a little bit. If you're making something simple, it can add a little bit of a flavour quite simply. And the other thing I picked up while I was there was the Skinny syrup. the golden syrup, which if you watch my video where I made ice cream fat bombs, ice cream bars, I used that for that. And I use this. There are nicer syrups you can buy. Fibre syrup, the proper fibre syrup. But this is £2 for one of these. And fibre syrup's nearly £10 for a similar amount. It's just too expensive for me. So, yeah, it's water, thickener, salt, sweetened with sucralose, carbohydrate, and 0. Yeah, so what else do I use this for? Pancakes. Nice on a pancake. So I'll make a batter with arrowroot and eggs and butter and double cream, and that it's an interchangeable recipe I use that for both makes pancakes and Yorkshire puddings. Goes nice with that. Nice on ice cream. In coffee as well, if you want to make a sweet coffee, a squirt of that's nice. So again, just a nice thing to have in your store cupboard. Okay, final store. Where did I go? Well, of course, I went to Aldi because it's in my price range, Aldi. And things I picked up while I was there. See if you can guess what I'm frying for tea. I've got some pork mince and I've got some flax seed. So, yeah, you got it. I'm going to make Scotch eggs. So basically, Scotch eggs, dead simple. You get yourself some pork mince, well seasoned pork mince. So I season it with about a tablespoonful of white pepper and a dessert spoon of salt, and then some psyllium husk to bind, and then wrap that around your boiled egg, and then dip that in some beaten egg and roll it in the flaxseed, and then fry it in my lard. So the other thing I use, well, flaxseed's a useful ingredient and it's reasonably priced at Aldi. So I use it in fathead dough for pastry. What else do I use it for? Use it in bread. I find the best. I did a fruit bread and I talked about a basic bread recipe there. And yeah, so I find a mix of the different flours, including some flax meal, gives the best result. Handy thing to have in. What else? There's more. There's more. I've got a celeriac. So celeriac, I thought I might make some celeriac chips to go with my Scotch egg. Again, I'm just going to deep fry it in beef dripping. It's a pretty tasty sort of diet, this keto. It's not difficult. And then to dip my chips in, I've got some chunky guacamole. And again, this is one some of you are going, oh no, I can't possibly have this because it says sugar in the ingredients. But when you actually look at it, per 100 grams, you've got 1.3 grams of carbohydrate, of which sugar's 1.1. Okay, and it's a 150 gram pot. So even if I were to eat the whole damn thing, I'd be only getting, what, 1.5-ish grams of carbohydrate. And yeah, I like avocado, but I've got to be honest, if I've just got whole avocados knocking around, they quite often go off. It's difficult, but this is really handy. What else have I got in my little bag? Yeah, I've got some stock pots. Very useful, these, when you're getting going on keto, to get those keep your electrolyte levels up. So these have got it's basically stock. It does have some maltodextrin in and some sugar in, but when you look at the actual ingredients per portion, it's less than half a gram of carbohydrates. So I might just put one of those into a cup and have it as a hot drink. I also use these for cooking, for gravy. I use it for we're talking about before about sauces. So if I was making some sort of Chinese sauce, a stock pot, really, whether it's chicken or vegetable or beef, really helps with the flavour, just bring it together, you know. So yeah, so perhaps a stock pot, a little bit of ketchup, some white wine vinegar, some sweetener, and that will make a really nice, and then thicken it with a little bit of arrowroot. That makes a really nice sauce. And you want some spices, obviously Chinese 5-spice or whatever. But yeah, that's a good one. I keep those in regular because I use those. And finally, while I was there, so I bought myself a bottle of fizzy pop. Again, I wouldn't recommend drinking gallons of fizzy pop, but it's got no carbs in. You know, it's carbohydrate per 250 ml serving is less than half. And so, yeah, I've given up booze for 6 months. I thought I'd treat myself to a new liver. And so when it gets to that time of day where I would normally have had a drink, I'll have a glass of that. For those of you who are having a drink on keto, my recommendation is stick with spirits, really, because you haven't got the sugar then. Vodka, whiskey, rum. That's what I have. But of course, it's still empty calories. Plus, if you're drinking spirits, it's very easy to end up drinking more. So just do it in moderation would be my advice. Anyway, that's it. That's my bag full of goodies. Was that interesting or useful to anybody? If it was, give the video a like and follow along, and perhaps a comment. Is there any other? What are your favourite keto ingredients? What are your pantry favourites? The things that you have to have in stock. Right then, I'm going to go and make my tea, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, folks. Bye.